electronic devices and phones. That will be appreciated. First up in our program, Essex High School senior Jamaal will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to invite the Essex High School Chamber Choir in leading us in the national anthem.
Thank you. At this point, I would invite the class marshals to seat the graduates. Chamber choir, please stay where you are. Please be seated. This year, the chamber choir would like to perform a class song for the graduating class of 2019. That is next on our program, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm gonna make a change. How do I make a change? I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, but not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs?
A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize there are some with no home, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred somebody's broken heart and a washed out dream. They follow the pattern on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change my ways. Could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Change my ways, could have been. If you want to make the world, take a look at yourself. Change. Make a change. Oh, yeah. Oh, make that change.
Very nicely done. I would like to invite senior Jamaal back up to the podium.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome families, friends, teachers, administrators, community members, and of course, my peers, the Essex High School class of 2019. Four very short, or depending on how you look at it, very long years ago, we walked down the wrong side of the hall as high school students for the first time. It was a bigger school, full of bigger people, and bigger homework assignments that would serve as a launch pad for making our big dreams into reality. This is, quite literally, the beginning of the end. After today's ceremony, we'll all walk out of the skating facility and into the world as high school graduates. There are many special people gathered with us here today to celebrate our graduation. So I thought it might be helpful to fill them in on what it took for us to get to this point. What exactly does it take to be a high school graduate? What, despite the unique paths we've all taken to get here, can we all say we've done to be here on this morning of June 15th, 2019? To answer that question, I will take us on a journey through time and space, a journey in which your wits will be tested, a journey not at all for the faint of heart. I call it a day in the life of an Essex high school student. Man, the EHS experience begins before you even step inside. Bam, bam! Flanking you on both sides of the main entrance. Dennis Hill and Benjamin Johnson. They are the bromance of the century. Once you get past them, you do this thing I recently discovered, actually, in the fourth quarter of my senior year. It's called going to class. Who would have thought there would be legitimate alternatives to chilling in the guidance lobby? When the lunch bell rings, it's time for a mad dash to the cafeteria. It's quite peculiar, you know. Can't quite put my finger on it, but for some reason, it's been a lot more crowded in there recently than it had been in past years. Hashtag bring back the rink. In the cafeteria, kids unhinge their jaws and make their food say bye-bye faster than I'm going to after this is over. After that, it's more classes, or not, and finally the day ends. The lucky ones go home. The masochists, who for some reason decided that 6.5 hours at school wasn't enough, voluntarily elect to spend additional hours on school grounds to participate in drama, athletics, and other extracurricular activities. It takes a special kind of crazy to think that exploring interests and building lifelong relationships with others is somehow more appealing than the art of napping and building a lifelong relationship with your bed. Who would have thought? My personal favorite part of the school day is when I go home, ready to relax, and the expectations of my teachers, still manage to find a way to follow me there in the form of homework. Senioritis is a serious national health epidemic. Please do not hesitate to see me afterwards to donate to the cause. I take cash. It's essentially a positive feedback loop. Thank you, Earth Science, for the one thing I'm including in the speech I actually learned in high school, in which the closer a deadline gets, and the more you should work on an assignment, the more it physically hurts to do it. Studies show that the average high school senior uses approximately 3.4 Advil per homework assignment per night. When the clock finally strikes 3 a.m. and we get to go to sleep, comforted by the sweet dreams of the equally painful day of high school to follow. Wow, and colleges really expected me to believe they'd offer me the best 4 years of my life? I was told that lie once before. I'm not falling for it again. In all seriousness, we're all very fortunate today to be graduating from Essex High School. It is one of the best public schools in the country in a community with the status of its equal acclaim. A place is only as special as the people within it, and this place is a special place. Thank you to all of the teachers, staff, and administrators that day in and day out make Essex High School what it is, and made Essex High School from the time I first set foot on campus my home. I hope that these last 4 years have brought experiences, memories, and friendships to you, as they have to me, that will be forever carried in your hearts. I can say honestly, I'm gonna miss it here. Before I rejoin my fellow students and allow the festivities to continue, I would like to share some words of wisdom. Remember that there is no best way to live your life. There exists no definition of success. There's only your definition of success. For many of us, this may mean accumulation of vast amounts of wealth, or for others, it may mean a serene, quiet life in a small home in the mountains. There is no right answer, and do not be pushed to believe that there is. Do not let your critics be your biggest motivators. Someone taking the time to criticize you must care about you a whole lot to think it is worth their time to tell you they'd like you to be better. Take risks. Try something new. The world is vast and full of things to do and to see. All experiences, good or bad, are moments from which to learn and to grow. Live your life not for others, but for you. When it comes down to it all, the only thing that matters is that we can each say we lived a life we are proud of. This is, of course, not to say don't care about other people. We should all seek to build positive relationships in which honesty, trust, respect, and communication stand as fundamental pillars. Cherish your friends, loved ones, and those around you. They may really get on your nerves sometimes, but they truly do want the best for you. And most importantly of all, never forget who you are and who you always will be. An Essex Hornet. Thank you and congratulations to the Essex High School class of 2019.
This time I would like to invite to the podium Essex High School senior Isabella Petrucci.
Fellow classmates, teachers, parents, and administrators, welcome. There's really only one thought going through my mind right now, and it's that I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're all here, sitting in these god-awful plastic chairs, waiting to graduate. I can't believe that in about an hour, we will be done with high school, leaving it behind for good. A few years ago, around this time, I was here in this rink, a part of the audience. It was the end of my freshman year, and as I watched my brother graduate, I thought about how I had another 3 years ahead of me. At that time, it seemed like our graduation was an eternity away. However, thinking back on it now, it's passed in the blink of an eye. 4 years have passed, and we have finally made it here, to this rink, ready to move on to the next phase of our lives. I can still remember the nervousness, accompanied by the excitement, that I felt the day before school actually started freshman year, where we all came in for step-up day to visit our classes. We were all in for an exciting adventure, as everything was new to us. Being the scared little freshmen that we were, we began to learn how to manage the crowded hallways, figuring out which hallways and staircases would be the quickest way out of school, as by the end of the day, we were all dying to go home. The next 4 years would be filled with challenging classes, lots of work, new friendships, and even struggles that we would have to overcome. These past 4 years have in no way been easy for any of us. We have all suffered through many ups and downs, whether this be academically, socially, or both. There were times where it felt like we were being bombarded with tests and projects, AP tests, or even just filling out college applications this past year, writing essay after essay. It may have seemed impossible at that time to go on. However, through the incredible support of our friends, families, and teachers, we were able to push on and get through it. These friendships that we have made these past 4 years have become a critical part of our lives. As we continued to meet new people and make new connections, we all began to change. We began to discover more about who we are, what we liked, and more importantly, what we didn't like. We have depended on these friendships on an almost daily basis, as they lend their support to us when times are tough, giving us a place to fall back on. Although these friendships may not remain as strong as we move on to our next chapter, the memories that we have created with them will always live on. We will always be able to think back on the days where we were out with friends, whether we were just grabbing a coffee at Nest or going to the beloved bagel market for a midday snack. Along with the many relationships we have made with our peers these past years, many of us have also created meaningful relationships with our teachers. In fact, there would not be 300 of us here today, in this rink, celebrating this great milestone in our life, if it were not for our teachers. Teachers are always ready to offer to help and support, whether they're helping you master a new concept, preparing you for a test, or just listening to you and being there for you when you need the extra support. They are always hoping and working for our success and well-being, even though they may mask it at times, such as sarcasm, mockery, and bad jokes. It can seem as if teachers just like to give us work and see us suffer, which is true sometimes, but they all do truly hope to see us succeed and achieve great things in our future. Now, the cycle begins anew. There will be new friendships, new teachers, new memories, and new struggles and challenges as well. Just as it was in high school, there will be many ups and downs, no matter what you go on to do. There will be times where it will seem hopeless once again, but I am confident that through everything that we have experienced in high school, good and bad, we will be able to push through and continue on to achieve great things. Although there were many times these past 4 years where it seemed like graduation would never come, we are finally here now, ready to continue on and meet head-on the exciting new adventures we will surely face. As we go on with the rest of our lives, make sure to remember your friends who have always been there for you. Remember all of the teachers who have changed your life. Remember and cherish the memories you have made here. Remember the struggles you faced here, as well as the accomplishments you've celebrated. And never forget everything high school has taught you. So, class of 2019, congratulations. That's it. We're done.
Now invite Essex High School senior Grace Liu to the podium.
Good morning, fellow classmates, teachers, friends, family members, and administrators. Thank you for gathering here today in the Essex High School ice rink, otherwise known as the location of the AP exams we've suffered through over the past few years. Before you may begin remembering the traumatic experiences involving the buzzer going off right as you're trying to bubble in the last multiple choice, or Mr. Jamaal saying, index finger up, just know that you've survived. You will never have to take another AP exam again, thank God. When I first agreed to speak today, I originally thought to myself, I'm sure I'll be able to figure out what to say, and promptly decided to put off writing the speech until the night before. After all, like many of you, I had gone through the college application process and survived both AP Lang and Lit, so I knew I could rely on a hidden superpower we all have within us, the ability to bang out surprisingly coherent essays the night before they were due. However, when I later learned that I would have to submit a draft beforehand, I began to panic. I did what any typical lazy teen would do and asked Siri, what do I say in a graduation speech? Unfortunately, Siri was unable to process my question. Maybe that'll be fixed in the iOS 13 update. Who knows? After Googling my question, I read speeches that created a sense of camaraderie by reminiscing on past experiences. But the truth is, we've all had such different journeys at the school, even if we walk by the same pharmaceutical lobby every day. Our paths started to diverge the moment we stepped onto the left side of the hallway as naive freshmen, not yet realizing we were going to be bulldozed over the moment the bell rang. Some of us have found our home in the music hallway or out on the track. Some of us have traveled as close as the UVM Medical Center for an internship or as far away as Belize with Mrs. Smith as part of her Belize field study class. While reflecting on past graduation speeches that I've heard, I realized how strange it was when people stated that their graduating class would be filled with future world leaders, Grammy-winning artists, and researchers who discovered the cure for cancer. Well, sorry to let you guys down, but I don't have a crystal ball. I also don't know much about astrology, except that everyone seems to hate Geminis for some reason. I don't know why. If the past is any indicator of the future, we're gonna have some long nights in the library ahead of us. And for all of us, there's going to be moments where indecision and fear try to overtake us. There will be times where it seems like you're getting hit with rejection after rejection after rejection. It'll seem like no one understands and appreciates you. And then you might start wondering if you are a failure. But if there's one thing that I have learned in my life so far that I would like to pass on, it's this. You are not defined by the cords around your neck and the trophies at home on the wall, although those are certainly to be celebrated, nor are you defined by the rejections you receive. While it can be all too easy to focus on what others have that you lack, know that you are worth more than the sum of your successes. To the kids who bombed a test after studying hours for it by reading the textbook and watching Khan Academy videos, I love the laughter and energy you bring to school and how you never fail to brighten someone's day. To the kids who stayed up late, memorizing lines or practicing their instrument but still failed their audition, I appreciate your drive and determination. To the kids who sit on the bench but never get to play in the game, I appreciate your dedication to your teammates and the pride you have in being a Hornet. No matter what you have or haven't accomplished, you have already achieved milestones simply by being there for your friends and contributing something that is uniquely yours. So, when it seems like the world is telling you to give up, ask yourself the following question. Will you regret this decision in 1 week, month, year, or even decade? If the answer is yes, follow the wise words of a certain blue fish who once said, just keep swimming. Because sometimes it can be all too easy to conflate external validation with internal joy. Ultimately, we spend our lives alone with only our thoughts keeping us company, and it would be a shame to spend so much of our time worrying about what others think. Don't chain yourself down because the world thinks you should. Lastly, I want to remind us all that while we are here today because of innovations such as Google Translate, Quizlet, Chegg, Cliff Notes, or Kahoot, we're ultimately here because a teacher, staff, or administrator invested their time and energy in us. They saw the potential we had and were unwavering in their dedication, kindness, and patience. Thus, we are forever indebted to them. Before you leave today, I urge you to thank someone who has made a difference in your life. I'll start by thanking all the teachers who listened to my mini rants and laughed at my sarcastic jokes and bad puns. It really means a lot. So guys, capitalize on that gratitude that you're feeling. Reach out to others and let them know that they are not alone. Help them along. Pass on the gift we have collectively received. Congratulations, class of 2019. From navigating the Snapchat ban to calculating the lowest grade needed on the final to pass a class, we've made it. I can't wait to see where life takes us next and the impact we'll have on our communities. Thank you and have a great day.
Each year, the graduating class chooses a faculty speaker to address the graduates. This year, class of 2019 has asked Essex High School science teacher, Mr. Jonathan Stapleton, to address you. Mr. Stapleton.
As a friend of mine likes to say, no matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here. So I don't know if you saw me craning my neck. I think there are translators around here. I was supposed to get a script into them, and I think that's about as far as I might be following it, so I apologize for confusion. I'll be getting back to it, but I'm going to go off the road here a few times. I blame it on my showering this morning. If I hadn't showered, I probably wouldn't have had thoughts, and thoughts led to other thoughts, and then I got out of the shower and I went and grabbed this, and I went back into the bathroom and I started writing more things down. And the reason I went back to the bathroom is because I really composed this while I was weeding the garden, and I had some great ideas in the garden, but then when I went to the computer and I tried to put them down, I think the framework made it, but the message didn't. So I've been looking at this thinking, oh, what does this all mean? And I remember it in the shower. By the way, there are some things that Grace mentioned that you're going to see here. Actually, there are a lot of themes that I think Jamaal and Grace and Izzy mentioned in their speeches. But look out for superpowers and maybe procrastination and Siri. Oh, Siri. Yeah. So Thinking about the garden, and I recommend if you want a lot of ideas, weed the garden. Clean your room, clean your shop if you have one, stack a wood pile, take a shower. Just turn the water off and stand there because it's not good to waste water. But the thing that doesn't give me ideas is this. In fact, I think this is the #1 killer of epiphanies. It's good for writing your ideas down once you have them. So, this speech, the translator's speech, has some bits about failure. What it's really about, what I realized in the shower it's about, is about trying hard, making mistakes, forgiving ourselves, moving on, and then repeating this process over and over. It's my attempt to give you a few more tools to take with you into life. Hopefully there's something in it you can use. Before I move on to the specific topics that I typed out that the translators have, I want to say that that greeting that I gave at the beginning, no matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome in this place. That's been bouncing around in my head since a staff meeting that we had discussing the issues around Pepe the Frog and what we could do about him. So one of the things I decided I could do about it was that. In case you haven't heard of Pepe, he's a green cartoon frog and a hate symbol and a lot of other things. To me, over the last few days, what he's been symbolizing is a complicated problem that we feel like we ought to have all the answers to, but we don't. And when you have such a problem, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take a stand. And when I say take a stand, I don't mean acting necessarily, but deliberately deciding whether you're going to act or not. So you take a stand, and the fact that it's a complicated problem means we're likely to fail. But when we fail with good intentions, we need to forgive ourselves, learn from the failure, and then try again. I want to emphasize the part about feeling like we should have all the answers because I think that's important for you. I feel like I and other teachers have drilled into you over the last 12 years or however long you've been a student that you're supposed to give us the right answers, that there is a right answer, that all you need to do is follow directions and you'll get there. I thought about saying that all changes today, but a lot of you are going on to college and you'll still be expected to give right answers. But in real life, you're going to fail a lot, and that's okay. It's to be expected. It's even to be embraced or commended. And that's really my speech in a nutshell. So if I forget everything else, I could really stop there. The rest is just supporting details. I first started thinking differently about failure when I heard an NPR radio essay. It was written for This I Believe. It was a series, and it was called Failure's a Good Thing. It was written by author John Carroll. The essence of his message was that failure promotes growth. He argued that if we play it safe, if we only do what we already have proven that we can do, then we may be successful, but we don't grow. He said we should embrace failure as a natural part of learning. I had a chance to witness a humorous application of this when I was teaching at Burlington High, right after I heard the essay. A teacher brought in a student, and the student had his head down, and he had 2 pieces of a meter stick, one in either hand, and she said to him, "Tell Mr. Stapleton what you did." And he wouldn't look at me, and he said, "I didn't mean to break it. I just wanted to see how far it would bend without breaking." So that was Carroll's point. There really is and was no other way to find out the full potential of a meter stick. There had to be a sacrifice, and I forgave him, and I hope he forgave himself. I do try to apply John Carroll's premise to my teaching. I do my best to provide just the right balance of challenge, failure, and success. I don't always do it well, but I try. In contrast to what I try to orchestrate in the classroom, real problems are not designed to maximize your personal growth. They don't have simple solutions necessarily. They don't have answer keys. There's no guarantee that their answers even exist in a literal sense. I'm talking about problems like climate change, immigration reform, healthcare reform, school shootings, and of course, Pepe the Frog. Now, these are really big problems, but even something as simple as what you're going to choose as a college major has no clear answer quite often. I don't mean this as a warning. I'm not scolding you or trying to be harsh. What I'm trying to do is give you permission to cut yourself some slack. You don't have to have the answers. Class of 2019, I apologize if I've given you the impression that life's problems are as straightforward as the physics final. They're not. Or if I've led you to expect real-life problems to be as intrinsically motivating as making water rockets, whipping things with towels, shooting supersonic tampons. That's a little bit of hyperbole, but the tampon went really fast. Or hammering nails into a board on the teacher's head. Again, they're not. And if I've mistakenly given you the idea that adults have all the answers, we don't. But we can still be helpful. I looked up the definition of an adult when I was writing this, and the first definition was a grown person, which isn't very helpful. But I kept going down the list, and I finally got to one that sounded good, but it turned out to be a verb. So apparently I can adult. I'm not sure if I'm adulting right now, but when I do adult, I am behaving in a way characteristic of a responsible adult, especially by accomplishing mundane but necessary tasks. So that's our superpower. Going back to Grace's speech, I didn't procrastinate on this. I did make the mistake of going out and weeding the garden and showering and that kind of thing, and I wrote it and rewrote it and rewrote it, but I've been working on this nonstop since I heard I was going to have to do it. So I guess I'm an adult. I had doubts. I talked earlier about John Carroll's glorification of failure. I don't know if he glorified it, but he recommended that we embrace it and seek it as a way to grow. But I want to be clear that I'm not suggesting you intentionally take unhealthy risks. I'm suggesting you do things like singing in front of the class, running the first half of your 5K faster than you think you might be able to, sharing an unpopular opinion that you believe in, dancing like a fool in public, and giving graduation speeches. I'm suggesting that you push yourself out of your comfort zone and thereby grow. In general, however, you should avoid failures. You're still going to have plenty of them. You don't need to seek them out. At some point, you're probably going to screw up so badly that you just want to crawl in bed and hide forever, or under the bed. It may have happened to you already. I've done it recently. My tool for dealing with paralyzing failures is the Serenity Prayer, written by Reinhold Niebuhr. I'm sure I've said that wrong. It's the one that goes, "Grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." There are a lot of things you can't change. You can't change the fact that you failed. You can't change the weather, your parents, the color of your skin, the politics of the moment. The only thing in life you have control over is how you act right now, in the present. When I find myself, being paralyzed by failure, feeling so bad about things that I don't know what to do and I don't want to move on, a trick that I use is really an application of this. I step outside myself and I think of myself as a character in a story. And the story is my life, but I'm looking from the outside at that character. And the character's gotten into a pickle, and I ask myself, what do I want my hero to do? And sometimes it takes a little time, but that helps guide my next step. The corollary to this is that when you judge yourself not by the hand you were dealt, but by how you played it. And that goes even if you deal it yourself or dealt it yourself. Back to my greeting at the beginning, I'll repeat it in case it's not ringing in your head. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome in this place. So the Serenity Prayer works for acute failures, and it also works for mild failures that sneak up on you. Someday you might decide that you've gotten yourself into the wrong part of the journey. You don't like where you are, and you could beat yourself up over it, or you could recognize that the past is something you can't change and have the courage to make the right choice now. Okay, so finally, one last tool that I want to offer you is a tool for dealing with inevitable failure, or at least failure that seems inevitable. And to take a line from this poem I'm about to read, what do you do when there's no hope in sight? So I first heard this poem, which is my tool, 21 years ago on a backpack trip with my wife and some good friends in the Bob Marshall Wilderness of Montana. As soon as we hit the trail, our friend Pat announced he was going to recite a poem for us, but he wouldn't recite it until we got to a sufficiently miserable location that was worthy of the poem. So after about 40 miles on the way up a very steep pass, we finally got to hear it. It's called The Quitter by Robert Service. When you're lost in the wild and you're scared as a child and death looks you bang in the eye, when you're sore as a boil, it's according to Hoyle to cock your revolver and die. But the code of a man says fight all you can, and self-dissolution is barred. In hunger and woe, it's easy to blow. It's the hell served for breakfast that's hard. You're sick of the game? Well, now that's a shame. You're young, you're brave, and you're bright. You've had a raw deal, I know, but don't squeal. Buck up, do your damnedest, and fight. It's the plugging away that'll win you the day, so don't be a piker old pard. Just draw on your grit. It's so easy to quit. It's the keeping your chin up that's hard. There's one more stanza, and this is going to be my final message to the class of 2019. This is the part that resonates most with me. Because a lot of times things seem hopeless, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't go on. It's easy to cry that you're beaten and die. It's easy to crawfish and crawl. But to fight when hope's out of sight, why, that's the best game of them all. And though you come out of each grueling bout, all broken and battered and scarred, just have one more try. It's dead easy to die. It's the keeping on living that's hard. Class of 2019, thank you for asking me to be your speaker. Thank you for inspiring me and motivating me every day. And thank you to Mark Mendes for teaching me that greeting.
Thank you, Mr. Stapleton. At this time in our program, we would like to recognize our graduating seniors who have earned distinguished academic honors while at Essex High School. First, cum laude status. With those students who have earned a grade point average of 3.7 to 3.89, please stand now and be recognized. Thank you. Magna cum laude. With those students who have earned a grade point average of 3.9 to 4.09, please stand now to be recognized. Summa cum laude. With those students who have earned a grade point average of 4.1 to 4.3, please stand now to be recognized. Well done. Among the graduating class today are students who were born outside of the United States. Essex High School has been enriched and continues to be enriched by the experience of having students from other countries and cultures among our student body. At this time, if you are a graduate of the class of 2019 and were born in a different country, would you please stand now and be recognized? Thank you. At this point, we're going to put the class marshals to work. We are going to prepare the class of 2019 to receive their diplomas. Brendan and Grace, showtime. like to introduce Mr. Bill O'Neill, who will be reading the names of the graduates.
Peter Clifford Alden. Rania Osama Al-Janabi. Riley Parrish Allen. Ian T. Amalikson. Jason Michael Angelos. Jamie Jean Angelano. Muna H. Arbo. Grace Meredith Asuera. Stephen William Astor. Madison Celia Oddie. Michael Allen Ayer. Emir Badrovich. Jackson Allen Baker. Joshua Joseph Baker. Michael Edward Baker. Sean Alexander Baker. Jimmy Banquilli. Seth Thomas Barrett. Hannah Mae Bates. Hayden Radcliffe Beatty, early college program at Northern Vermont University of Johnson. Jessica Margot Catherine Beliveau. Ian Jeffrey Bennett. Keegan James Bergeron. Valerie Ann Bissett. Ramona Rachel Bilodeau. Mackenzie Maywood Bird. Amy Beth Bissonette. Rachel Elizabeth Bombardier. Noah William Bonney. Eva Lorraine Bosley. Tate David Bostwick. Jeremy James Brennan. Aiden Sloan Briley. Elias Barron Brinker. Hannah Renee Brisson. Brendan Lewis Brooks. Emma Elizabeth Brott. Grace Chang Brulette. Molly Regina Bruins. Samuel Allard Buell. Lily Catherine Bulger. Calvin Douglas Burnett. Mercedes Shannon Bushy. Zachary Butler. Clara Grace Byers Buffard. Maria G. Campo. Madison Lynn Catella. Lindsay Elizabeth Centracchio. Olivia Lee Chan. Brandon A. Charles. Daniel Kenneth Chalk. Gabrielle Elizabeth Churchman. Annika May Clark. Shaylin Tiffany Clifford. Nicholas Thomas Coburn. Liam Andrew Cochran. Tova Grace Coe. Brittany Elizabeth Como. Kate Elizabeth Conley. Amaya Elizabeth Cooper. Patrick Rada Cooper. Violet Jane Corcoran. Grady Shaw Corkum. Jennifer Faith Correa. Sarah Marguerite Coulter. Abigail Victoria Kuchar. Grady J. Cram. Eva Rosemary Cunningham Furkey. Mehdi Moulay Dowdy. Bidesh Darji. Nolan Michael Davis. Catherine Grace Deibler. Haley Elizabeth Demers. Mary Ellen K. Demko. Kurt Frederick Dermeyer. Margaret Ethel Donahue. Amy Dong. Alexis Jean Donna. Olivia Adele Doty. Isabel Janice Nicole Doubleday. Isaiah Allen Drown. Tatum Sarah Marie Duba. Michael Charles Duffy. Lauren N. Dunbar. Isabella Caitlin Dunn. Yvette Joanne Duval. Evan Wesley Dyke. Miles Henry Einhorn. Tyler Thomas Elias. Francis Jacob Ellis Monahan. Samuel Edwin Evans. Kaylin Marie Ferreira. Catherine Jane Ferry. Riley Christopher Fitzpatrick. Rachel Ellen Foll. Madeline Lily Folsom. Zachary Daniel Forcier. Samuel Richard Foster. Haley Beth Freeman. Simode Tesla Frolic. Jackson Colin Garrow. James Michael Gibbons. Sam Arthur Gibbs. Jared Patrick Giroux. Samuel Clay Giroux. Abigail Grace Gleason. Emily Eleanor Gagnon. Connor Roland Goodrich. Elizabeth Dorothy Goodrich. Jacob Daniel Gookin. Alexandra Ida Gordon. Essie Malia Greenlees. Ryan Francis Garino. Nicholas Daniel Hall. Megan Nicole Hamel. Jack Warner Hamilton. Bethany Jean Hamilton. Jamaal Lincoln Hankey. Jason Hock. Carter Patrick Harrison. Christina Jean Harton. Tess Maria Francesca Hastings. Emmett Chateau Hazel. Valerie Ann Heiser. Taylor Marie Hella. Lily Faye Henshaw. John Rudolph Badilis Herrera. Alex Patrick Hill, early college program at Vermont Tech, VAST program, Dean's List both semesters. Spencer Ryan Hunt. Hope Leslie Hurlbert. Peregrine Baum Ibarra. Kayla Catherine Irick. Jonah Talcott Gennaro. Harley Nicole Johnson. Elias William Salas Jones. Peter William Kagan. Trevor Joseph Kaminsky. Tia Lynn Kane. Michaela Adrian Kepler. Zachary Paul Kirschner. Upama Kadiwada. Cole Jeremy Klimoski. Avery Gardner Kupfer. Christopher Paul Labonte. Adrian Joseph Lamori. Cameron Cormier Lamphere. Sunny Lucille Larrabee. Madison Lonnie Larson. Nguyen Fong Lee. Melissa Lynn Lefcourt. Alyssa Lynn LeMay. Susan Ariel Levine. Catherine Marie Lewis. Cole William Logan. Isa Marie Logan. Michaela Ann Lozelle. Grace Jai Liu. Jada Marie Luck. Isabel Rose Luparello. Adam Michael Lyon. Ross McNeil Macy. Bridget Louise Marr. Drew Sandor Marcotte. Jeremiah Martin Marking. Madeline Hope Marquardt. Francesca Catherine Amelia Martin. Kylie Kate Martin. Paulo Santiago Matos. Joshua Robert Sungmin Maurer. Caitlin Ann McClellan. Jake Bayer McIntyre. Aubrey Ray McKenna. Harper Melly. Dana Grace Melita. Robert Brothers Meslin. Clayton Thomas Messier. Benjamin Thomas Middleton. Dante Rivera Miller. Peter Abraham Miller. Olivia Louise Miller Johnson. Tyler Robert Millett. Dominic Joseph Minadeo. Mustaf Mohammed. Abigail Grace Monahan. Catherine Anita Monty. Brennan Gillis Moreau. Jamie Elizabeth Morin. Erin Marie Mulcahy. Hannah J. Neto. Nabeen Nepal. Vina Fong Nguyen. Yasmin Ya Nasami. Philippe Olave. Isaac Emmanuel Olson. Connor Robert O'Neill. Nicholas Matthew Oseki. Peter Caesar Oseki Jr. Noah Kim Palker. Maria Mudra Parker. Margaret Flora Parks. Clifford Roy Patterson Jr. Montia Alyssa Pert. Adine Pico. Olivia May Percy. Keyshawn Austin Peters. Nathan Holmes Peterson. Isabel Eleanor Petrucci. Olivia Grace Plouffe. John Rupert Parati. Kristen Elizabeth Potter. Ashley Alice Poulin. Hunter Alin Doran Poulin. Cole Joseph Powell. Avery Jean Preston. Avery. Tiernan Price. Alex Ong Prim. Lauren Jean Prouty. Cole M. Quinton. Shalom Ray. Santosh Rajendran. Nicholas Joseph Rancourt. Madeline Hope Reed. Maya A. Riley. Lauren Marie Riley. Noelle Amy Rosberg. Madeline A. Rose. Hannah Marie Rulo. Tyler Ray Ruthier. Matthew Joseph Russell. Hannah Joy Safer. Kimberly Ann Savage. Gordon White Schmaltz. Benjamin Alman Schmieda. Connor Michael Schultz. Kylie Nicole Schultz. Samson Manning Schultz. Jalen Elena Ray. Amanda K. Sievers. Isabel Emily Seguin. Monroe Ian Shearer. Alex Joseph Samard. Yonah Kashar Simonelli. Benjamin Paul Slattery. Spencer Robert Slattery. Olivia Francis Smith. Samuel Gregory Smith. Michaela Renee Sozinski. Anthony S. Southaney. August Noel Spagnolo Chihuahua. Devin James Sparks. Brian Cooper Stammelman. Lauren Elizabeth Stawinski. Benjamin David Stewart. Natalie Catherine Straw. Is this Edward Stone? Okay. Gabe Nicodemus Streeter. Macy Renee Stubbs. Early college program at CCV, Dean's List both semesters. Anil Suba. Jane Francisca Suryanata. Christy Ann Schwarzkopf. Liam Jason Swan. Curtis Birch Sinat. Sanju Tamang. Hunter Orion Tether. Bailey H. Tatro. Dagan Christopher Thompson. Eric Corrigan Thompson. Michael Hedden Tidman. Caitlin Marie Toth. Spencer James Wildest Toll. Austin E. Trask. Brennan Jacob Trombley. Mason Isaiah Trombley. Ida Rebecca Tummins. Matthew Allen Toupee. Caitlin Francine Turner. Jacob James Vance. Edgar J. Vega. Jacob Richard Veilleux. Aaron Aparal Venner Johnston. Jake Tyler Wagner. Brandon Michael Walker. Allison Marie Westcott. Jacob Paul Whitten. Aaron Michelle Whelan. Logan Theodore Williams. Emily Mae Wilson Michelonis. Ashley Marie Wimble. David Andrew Dixon Renner. Timothy Richard Yandow. Jacob Zuyan Yao. Madeline Eileen Young. Owen Michael Zudich.
We'll let them get back to their seat, and then we can
Okay.
say the task.
What's that?
Let's let Owen get back a little bit more. Okay.
Graduates, would you please move the tassel from the right side of your caps to the left? Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2019.